I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses. And the voice I hear falling on my ears, the Son of God discloses. And he walks with me and he talks with me and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. Hey everybody, Lady Cheryl here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's vlog, I'm going to share with you the progress on my DIY trellises for my Minnesota Midget Cantaloupe, my sugar baby watermelon, and then I'm going to show you something I'm experimenting growing butternut squash during the summer, during 100-degree weather. Okay, let's get started. Hey guys, I just want to show you my first Mexican Petunia. They're going to start blooming all around here. They come back every year. I have some over there, scattered throughout the food forest. Some people call them invasive. I like them. They bring pollinators to the yard. This apple tree in the ground is doing well. We're going to get some fruit off of it this year. Around this tree, I have Mexican petunias to help bring in pollinators. And then I have, of course, comfrey. And yeah, it's doing well. I can sit in my food forest for hours and watch the bees pollinate my wild elderberry bushes. It's very relaxing to me. I hope you guys enjoyed this little footage I inserted here. You can see they're busy going from flower to flower, pollinating, even way up there in the top of that bush. Okay guys, here is my Minnesota Midget Cantaloupe plant. I think I sowed the seeds about 3 weeks ago. And I made a makeshift trellis for them. And I'm gonna grow them vertically in my side garden. And you can see that I've been weaving the plants in and out of the trellis. However, it needs some more twine. So I secured some right here very loosely. And I'm gonna go all the way across. Over here is my sugar baby watermelon. You can see it's beginning to bloom, and I have some marigolds inside of both containers to attract pollinators to it because they need to be pollinated, of course. And so I'm going to stretch this twine real loosely all the way across to that stake over there, and I'm just going to keep doing that until I reach the top. And after I get about 10 or 8 melons on the vines, I will start letting them produce more by snipping the vines off. I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you the completion. I've secured the strings, the twine, all the way across the trellis. I started weaving. Boy, that's a big fly. Or is it? I think it's a fly. I started weaving the sugar baby watermelon vines in the twine. They're taking longer to grow or slower to grow than the Minnesota Midget Cantaloupe, but I think it's going to be fine. While we're securing this twine up here, I killed a leafhopper, so I may cut back the branches of this black wild mulberry tree, but I thought it would offer some shade during the hottest part of the summer. So maybe I'll just keep watching. If I see it's going to get infested with insects, I'll remove some of the branches, but I won't prune them if everything is okay. Now I see male flowers, but there's a lot of bees and flies and butterflies that come and wasps that comes to this area. So I don't really think I'm going to need to hand pollinate anything, but right now I'm seeing mostly male flowers. So I'll just watch it very closely like I do everything in this food forest. I come out several times a day and inspect it. And if I see it's a problem with pollination, then I will go ahead on and self-pollinate. But when I grew these before, I didn't have to do that. The only thing I'm gonna have to watch out for is stink bugs, squash bugs, cucumber beetles, and Japanese beetles. So I'm just gonna keep a real close eye on everything. And the first time I get a melon, if it is a Minnesota Midget Cantaloupe melon or a sugar baby melon, I'll bring it back to you in another video. This pepper plant is a year old. I grew it last winter in the greenhouse, and yeah, it's got a few peppers on them. Some more green ones, and some here. It's nice to come out and harvest groceries in your backyard. Here are my gooseberries. I got them from Stark Brothers last fall, and they're really putting on a lot of new growth this year. I have them in 2 containers. Eventually, they will go in the ground, or a real big container. I heard they can be invasive. Most berries are, so I'll probably put it in a white pot. I know over there where my sunflowers are, I have an empty container. I'll probably put them there. My butternut squash is growing so fast that it's almost unbelievable that I started these seeds a few weeks ago. You can see here, we have a lot of squash. This is a female flower, and this is a female flower, hasn't opened. And over here in the second garden bed where it's leaning, you see this female flower hasn't opened. This is a female flower. There are no male flowers yet to pollinate the fruit. I'm gonna go around here and show you where I have more squash. A female flower here, female flower here. It's a lot of squash on this plant, and so I'm just hoping and praying that this fruit was pollinated by a male, well, cross-pollinated by a bee that, you know, has been flying around. Bees will fly for miles, guys, and still have some of the pollen on it. And you can see, look like we're getting ready to have a male flower here and here, and also here. You can tell which ones are the males because the males, I'll give a closer up view right here. They won't have the making of a little fruit, a little butternut squash. So this is a female here, and looks like this is going to be a male. So as soon as I get some males flowers to pollinate the female flowers, I'm going to hand pollinate. But this is a nice size fruit. It probably already was pollinated, as well as this one right here. So I'm hoping that's the case and it doesn't show any signs. This is wind damage rubbing up against the ginger in this pot here. Yeah, so it looks really, really good. Let me share with you, if you're new to my channel, what I did was I put 3 tomato cages together, and I secured them with twine to give them extra strength. And then while the plants were young, I started weaving them through the trellis here, the tomato cage. And you can see they have these tendrils that will latch on to something, and like it did here and on this stalk here, and it'll help it grow and support it. Now over here, I didn't try to lean it or weave it inside of this trellis all the way over from here, 1, 2, 3, 4.5 feet here, because I figured that any fruit that would come on it, I can rest it in this bed where it is surrounded with insect repellent plants like the basil and the lavender, and as well as the marigolds. Okay, so I'm just going to let this just trundle down here and support it. And we have another piece of fruit over here that has a female flower. A lot of female flowers, but the males are slow to come on, but they will soon. And if they don't cross-pollinate on their own, from male to female or female to male, then I will assist it. And you can see here where I tied on this little twine here and here very loosely. See, I could put 2 fingers in here, but I wanted to make sure that I secured so that it'll have some stability. Okay, so butternut squash I'm growing during the summer because it is surrounded by the trellis here, the peach and nectarine tree here, banana plants in here. It's getting some shade. But I showed you earlier how I had to water it twice yesterday because it started getting really wimpy and limp. And even though I watered it very well, that happens sometimes. Now, if it does that again, by Friday, we're going to have a temperature of 100 degrees, which will give you a much higher heat index. I'm going to extend some shade cloth. I'll clip it onto that trellis right there, the brown trellis, and I'll bring it all the way over to here, and that will protect it. I'll probably use 50% shade cloth. Okay, and when I do that, I'll share it with you in my next video blog, because that's going to happen Friday, as I said, when the temperature goes up to 100 degrees. Okay, I hope I share something with you that will motivate you to try something different. I always let you know when it's an experiment or when it's something that I know will work because I've done it before. This is an experiment, growing this butternut squash during the hot summer, because, let me put it this way, the reason why I decided to do this is because butternut squash is not susceptible to the squash bugs like the patty pan is. So I grew the patty pan squash early in the season before I knew from experience growing in this yard 31 years. I had an opportunity to get some patty pan squash or scallop squash, whatever you want to call it, before the stink bugs, squash bugs got out. And over here is where I had the patty pan. And when I pulled it about a week ago, I put some dwarf okra, as I mentioned in my last video, and just giving you an update that it's doing really well. And I sprinkled some marigold seeds in here as well. They came up in like 2 days. Okay, so and that's turmeric over there. And the reason why I did that with the marigolds, because aphids are really attracted to okra. And this is going to be a dwarf okra, which will only get about 4 feet tall. So I'll still be able to harvest it. If it gets too tall, I'm just going to prune it down. Let me share this with you. Where is it? Oh, right here. This is the pecan tree. Okay, that I had in that corner right over there. I repotted it into this container. And then also the cherimoya tree, and it could be a loquat. Somebody told me that they don't think it's cherimoya, but it was donated to me, so we'll see. I potted up this one as well. Okay, The tomato plants that I'm cloning are looking pretty good. I left them in the sun a little too long, but I can tell that they are getting nutrition from the cow pots that's made out of manure because the plants are getting greener. Okay, so it's early in the morning. It's not even 8 o'clock. I'll put this shade cloth on it a little bit later. Okay, so I think that's all for this video. And remember, I'm doing this kind of vlog, VLOG style, so that I don't have to do a lot of editing. Okay, so if I make some mistakes, it is what it is. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I've inspired you in some way. Don't be afraid. Get in there and try different things, okay? I want you to know that I appreciate you, I love you, and God loves you too. Don't forget, check me out every Monday night at 7 p.m. where I host a live chat with my subscribers, and you can ask me anything you want about gardening, health, also hair care, skin care, and nail care. Okay? Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time. We are getting this order ready so that we can ship it. And we always take pride in our orders. Right, Bria?
Yes.
Okay. Bye, everybody. I want to show you guys something. You see those birds up there? They're waiting for me to leave. They keep circling around my food boards waiting for me to go in the house. No, I'm not paranoid. I know what they're doing. They swoop down just around dark. See how they're right over me. And they think they're going to get the rest of my peaches. And they probably will. They won't get all of them. But they're just flying in a circle, guys. I know they have to eat. I just think it's funny. And they're not leaving. Wow. You can still hear them. See, look. I'm gonna go closer so you can see them. They're just flying right over me. They're waiting for me to go in the house. This is too funny. This is funny. Doggone it. What would really be funny if they got closer to me. I feel like I'm in that movie, The Birds. I'm going to the house. They can have them. Woo, this is too funny.